Hey everybody, welcome back to another Friday Love and Learn. It's Friday. I get so excited when we get the opportunity. Yeah, right? To kind of get back to Friday again. You know, work weeks can be a little bit long and it's been such a challenging year. And this has been such a joy on Fridays to connect with folks, to get an opportunity to hear what people are invested in and what they're loving, what they're learning about their week, just some positive vibes. And so I'm super grateful to Samantha Pavelka, VSU 16, and Corey Dahl, VSU 8, and Dorian Avey of the Department of Education here. And really, Dorian, you're kind of our first non-ESU guest, so we're really excited.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thanks for having me.
Today, big time. And so thanks for spending a little time with us on this Friday. I want to encourage those that are listening through Facebook or through YouTube. When you comment in the comments, we can see your comments and bring those in, and kind of getting correspondence with you is really fun. Last week we had a chance to do this. So please feel free to share your love and learn. I'll put that at the bottom in the comments. We're going to start things off though here on our end, talking about the love from this week. What is one thing that each of you loved in? It could be something from personal life, professionally. But Samantha, if you'd start us off with some good vibes about something from your week.
Yeah, I cannot emphasize how much I love my teachers. And it sounds like such a cliche, but this whole week I've spent my time coaching them and just doing mental health checks with them to see, like, how are you doing? Is there anything I can do? Can I cover your class for an hour? What can I do to help you feel good during this time? And every time I leave those conversations, my whole heart is full. I love them. And even in the midst of a pandemic, they're still seeing the bright side to everything. So I love the teachers that I work with. I'm truly blessed to have who I have.
That's awesome. And before we even jumped on, you said you're going to be talking with some folks or filling in, right? So showing some love by filling and giving people little mini breaks.
Yeah. So on Monday, I'm going to go to Brady, which is one of our schools, and I'm only giving 30-minute breaks, but it's just allowing them time to leave their classroom for 30 minutes during the day. And so I told them, just give me your least favorite 30 minutes of your day. I don't care if it's lunch duty. I don't care if it's recess duty. I don't care what it is. And I'll come cover that. And you can just kind of walk out, go have a snack, go put your feet up, whatever you want to do to fill your own bucket.
Well, I'm going to tell you a little, I'm going to try not to let this story take too long. A little aside though, because I have some PTSD from something like this. So I once filled in on the last day of a semester for a first grade class. Not sure why the teacher couldn't be there. She couldn't be there. And when I did so, I barely made it to the end of the day. Like, surviving that was, as a secondary teacher, I was just exhausted, beside myself. And so we had the class party, and everyone's like, just wait till the party. The parents will be there. Everything will go fine. Don't have to worry about it. Well, the parent groups, one did crafts, one did the snack, and one did the present. Well, the present was reindeer antlers. The snack was ice cream, and the craft involved lots and lots of glitter. And so in one fateful moment, there was a little kiddo, two of them that were sort of over in the corner, butting heads like young reindeer, trying to establish dominance. One of them peels away from the back of the room, comes to the front, runs past a glitter plate, and I watched that thing fall and an atomic bomb of glitter go off that rained down and stuck in every spilled piece of ice cream across the classroom. And I said, I'm never doing this again.
I think it's safe to say they're never going to ask you back again.
Probably true. The janitors probably hated me.
And you're still to this day picking glitter out of your hair and just finding glitter in places, right?
Yeah, you can't get rid of that stuff. You can't get rid of that stuff. So best of luck to you. And if you have a rough moment, just know you're doing a lot better job than I would.
I get kindergarten Christmas craft, so it might end up the same way. We'll see.
That's fun. That's fun. Corey, what's one love from your week?
I have one that I was thinking about, but it seems like when I started really viewing it and thinking about it, it seems to be several things intertwined with it. But I've always had a love for technology in our jobs, in whatever job you hold. But it's just that ability to, in this pandemic, allows us to either maintain relationships, grow on or build on relationships, whether they're personal or professional, just like we're doing right now. So that's my love, is just being able to still make that connection. I'd still, as much as I love technology, I'd rather be face to face. But what I've learned, and we'll come back to that learning later, is that the learning and the loving this week for me, go together. But, we've been able to Zoom, and I was part of the ESU Coordinating Council and the NERCSA committee, and you're able to meet with people from across the state and collaborate on something because of the use of technology. I'm able to FaceTime with grandma and grandpa, or not my grandparents, but my wife's parents or my kids' grandparents, just that ability to do that. I was at a game last night. One of my daughter plays basketball, and the fact that they were streaming it, and I was talking with someone in the stands who his wife was at Holland, and able to watch. So it's my love for this week is just how technology's allowed us to help keep our sanity and still get work done, and also still have some sort of connection with people, even though it's not face to face. But also just that love that I think somehow or other we can use this in the future, still meet face to face, but also use that technology to still stay in touch with people effectively in the future.
Yeah, I get goosebumps just thinking about like what you're talking about too, and that after fact, where don't you feel like we're all going to just cherish being face to face without masks in that new normal that in a way that we never would have been able to identify with prior to. So,
right.
We'll have new avenues for immediate communication with people across distances, but at the same time, really just, I think you can be all the more present because of what we've endured.
I've done that too. I've visualized back to when, the ESU, they have statewide meetings, whether it's the TLT group or the PDO group. I miss it, obviously, but I've actually thought about, wow, what will that be like when we finally do get back together? And I'm sure a lot of people do that. And I can't wait for it. Or whether it's the holidays, with your family or whatever it is, just that normalcy.
Yeah.
This helps to be able to still see people. It's still not the same, but it helps.
No, I
agree, Corey. I've been having cravings for Thai food from Kearney, and it's a long way from Lincoln to go get that.
You need to have an excuse to travel to a conference in Kearney.
I know. I never used to have to do that. Felt like I was there a lot. Now I'm like, oh, I'm really missing that restaurant.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we got a couple comments and we're going to go to Dorian's. Deb, who joins us every week. I really appreciate that she's listening in. So she's giving an amen to Corey, missing our face-to-face meetings. I do know that's something Dorian and I have talked about too at different times, just how much you learn and grow from just those informal conversations, kind of like what we're having right now. And this comment came up earlier from one of our Facebook users. I love working on scheduling the Junior Duck Stamp competition for our schools. That's really interesting. I'd like to know a little bit more about the Junior Duck Stamp competition. But art is calling for all, unless it's a glitter A-bomb that goes off an hour before you walk out.
In someone's ice cream. Yeah.
Right.
I coached dance and cheer for over 10 years, and I think I had glitter on my body probably every day for those 10 years.
Totally see that. Well, Dorian, what was one of your loves from this past week?
So something small that I kind of take for granted until about this time of year, but it was the several days of beautiful weather that we have. I didn't take advantage as much this summer and spring getting out, but lately I've been walking my office partner regularly during my lunch, and it was really nice to have some beautiful weather for that.
Yes, I would echo that. Yes, I wasn't even thinking about, the weather has been amazing.
Yeah.
Can I change mine or just add to it, Andrew? But I want to also say the weather this last week, not so much today, but Wednesday, it was like 61 here or something. And I stood out in the yard and picked up a stick and raked, some leaves that were still left and didn't even complain about it because the sun was shining. So.
Yep, I did the same. Any excuse to postpone going back indoors. You're like, oh, I see something over there. I should check that out, pick it up.
Right. And then carry a stick across the yard, put it in the truck, and then go, oh, there's another stick over there, and just walk right and didn't even care.
was great.
Oh, that's super fun. I mean, everything that you all have said, truthfully, it's in the connecting. It's just the opportunity to see friends. Dorian, even I wasn't going to be mine, but I got a chance to visit with one of my buddies from West Side that I used to teach with, and we still hang out quite a bit. We have kiddos that are exactly the same age, and so it was fun. Tuesday night, we went over there and everybody was outside the whole time, masks on, whatever else, but it was warm enough we could do that with a little, driveway fire, and it was really enjoyable. So, gosh, I'll be quick with my love then I guess, and just that I like when things can kind of, I don't know, shaking things up and be out of the norm a little bit. And I was really amped, and this is a little promotional, but I'm also just really, loved the fact that we got to go ahead, that we're going to have a mystery guest speaker for our upcoming lunch bunch on Monday. I am going to have so much fun just collaborating with this individual and going back and forth for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes to kick things off on the topic of teacher credibility, which is something that I really think is it's important. I was, as a student, I used to kind of get in trouble. I'm sure you guys would be surprised to hear that. But also I'd get in trouble with my parents because they would go, "How did you get an A in calculus and a B- in health?" They're both important subjects, but it seems to me you'd be able to manage an A in health if you can figure out the calculus piece. And it's like, well, I love the calculus class. The teacher's awesome. Just really appreciate learning from that person, and that teacher credibility piece is pretty key. So I'm geeked out to have just a fun time on Monday, and just loved getting that news and being able to share that this week. So
right. It was an easy transition for me to be an administrator as I spent quality time in the office. So I kind of knew the role.
You knew what they did.
Yeah. So I can do that. Yeah.
I love that.
I've been training for this for years. Oh, so we have one of our Facebook users excited for the mystery guest, so definitely check that out at 12.
Andrew, I've been telling people the mystery guest was going to be me until you put New York Times best-selling author on it, and then you just blew up my whole charade. So thank you for that.
I'm really excited, Andrew. Seeing your face light up when you talk about it is truly the best marketing we can have.
Well, but he does that when he talks about me too. That's insane. But then when he put author on there, it just blew it up. So tell me that you're going to do that before you.
Well, I just think it's I love the lunch bunch. Has just not been I got to be careful how I say this. I like the informal, like we're doing right now. I just think it's so fun to just collaborate and talk shop, and lunch bunch has been that, and particularly in the back half of those when we just connect and just have small group time to explore things. And so just grateful to continue to move into that space more and more. And this one's going to be, just a blast. So that said, it has come time for us to shift to the learn from this week. And so, as Corey said, I find almost every week that there can be overlap between these two. We're educators. We love learning, but it's nice to parcel those out a little bit as well. So Samantha, what's something that you learned this week?
Mine was just this morning talking to Andrew. We have been trying to figure out a fun little icebreaker for our TLT group. So one of them was Snap Camera. When you think about the monotony of how many times that we have to be on Zoom and the Zoom fatigue that we feel, but how can you make that a little bit more fun and spice it up? Andrew had a really good anime of him in person with it. It's awesome, and it's free. So I downloaded it while we were on Zoom. I plan to play with this the rest of the day because I want to see what my anime looks like. So that is awesome.
That little add-on's so cool too, because when we were collaborating earlier, you can put on William Shakespeare's face. So if you were teaching and you wanted to kind of speak as Shakespeare for a hot second, right? You could go there and then just change it and then be back for you. And
you had an Abe Lincoln one going on. That one was cool too.
Yep. And how cool too if you're doing like a play through Zoom, like if you're remotely going about it, and each student could kind of have a different filter that goes with their character. And if you get, I think there's a subtle upgrade, so that's the only thing with this, but students could make their own filters though. And what a cool way to capture their thinking and represent it visually as the thing that they sort of speak through in that collaboration. How cool, right? If we can get into that stuff. So
That's awesome.
snap camera. Corey Dahl?
Yeah, my learn, it was more of a reaffirmation of some of those things that we had talked about earlier. I believe in collaborating, and it's still tied back to that technology. I learned, again, I continually learned about myself that you do have to work with others. I enjoy that. You lean on others to get through things, whether it's just having fun, like we're having here, or it's whether it's business related. You need, in my case, a business manager. You need the PD people. You need the other fellow superintendents. You need people. Back to the NERCSA ESU Coordinating Council project. Everybody plays a part in it, and you can't do everything. So my learn this week is just that reaffirmation that I enjoy that collaborating, and collaborating is important. And also another, I know you said one thing, but just the reaffirmation that districts, teachers, superintendents, everybody, they're being so flexible right now that you have to be flexible. I learned, relearning again, every time something comes up, I think, wow, people now, we've always said that in the past, well, change is going to happen, but now it happens and people, I don't know if they necessarily freak out, but they just think, well, okay, that seems about right. Well, we'll adjust, and how that'll change going forward too. I was talking with someone here in the building here, how in the future, maybe these kids and maybe even adults, when something happens now in the future, how we'll be like, well, okay, it's a change and we can adjust to it. How the pandemic has made us be more flexible and open to those sorts of things. And also, my third and final learned thing, it was just that reaffirmation that it's good to laugh if you can. If you can surround yourself with somebody, watch something that's funny, do something that's funny, is that laughter is really a nice medicine. It's the best medicine.
I love that.
I just got excited and also sad that I love going to comedy clubs, and I forgot that I haven't been to one in a really long time. Do you ever go to those? They're so fun that you just laugh till your stomach hurts, and you're like, I kind of want to stop laughing. Because
the last time I had gone to one, it was the. Have you ever watched the old Police Academy movies? It was the guy who made all the sounds. If you watch Police Academy, he can make any sound. Any sound at all. So if there's your challenge. If you haven't seen those Police Academy movies, but I remember it was years ago when I went and watched him. Yeah, they're a good time.
Oh, I'm gonna put that on my post-COVID to-do list right now.
Watch old Police Academy movies.
Well, I'll watch that, but definitely get into the comedy club.
No.
And just having because you're right, such good medicine, such good medicine with that. Dorian, what was your learn from this week?
So, I feel like I'm learning a ton. I'm sure everybody does. This COVID thing, there's so much coming at me, and it's all great. But I've been trying to take advantage. We have a year-long access to the Canvas training portal, and they do live webinars, and I've been going to them. And they taught me something this week that is not just Canvas, but just something that I'm sure I should have known, but I didn't know. And now all my colleagues are going to be probably like, oh, dang, now she knows. But I learned how to do emojis with my keyboard on my PC. So if you hit your Windows key and the semicolon or period, it pops up all these emojis. I had no idea. So for Christmas, that's what everyone's getting, lots of emojis.
Yes. And then you can spice up your Canvas classes and all your fun emails with all those fun emojis.
I know. Who knew it was so easy? I was like, oh, this is going to be great.
See how long you can have a conversation with someone only using emojis.
That would be a fun theme. Yeah. I think I could do that. I'm really into that.
Some things might be lost in interpretation. Some people might view some things a little R-rated. So
yeah, I have
careful with that.
College-age children. So, which, why didn't they teach me that? I know they know this. Why did they not teach their mother she could send 45 emojis in one text?
I've spoken about before my love for technology and feel like I know it well, but when I sit next to one of my kids and they're showing me something on Snapchat or whatever it is, or TikTok, and I feel like I think my dad felt, even though I know it, I'm thinking, and I'm like, wow, you can do that. And they look at me like, well, yeah, I mean, so it's kind of come full circle.
Yep. I agree. There's a lot of that.
Even the old man jokes that I used to say to my dad, my kids have picked up on that. So it's just completely come all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. My students used to teach me about things like PewDiePie and learning to play video games with an assistant on the screen. I had no idea. And they're like, he's like a multimillionaire. How can you not know him? And I'm like, because I'm over 30. I never heard of him.
Gosh. Well, my learn for this past week, I've been listening to a lot more Simon Sinek. Most mornings I'll get on YouTube and just listen to inspirational stuff, and I just really appreciate different voices. And so for whatever reason, this week's been more of a Simon Sinek week. And he was telling a story at one point that I think he does fairly regularly, because I might have even heard it twice this week, but about a time when he and a friend were at a race and they were giving away free bagels at the end of the race. And the story goes that Simon Sinek, was sort of obsessed with this idea of getting a free bagel and how awesome that was, where his friend was really overwhelmed by the line and the people waiting to get set this free bagel. And they sort of got into this argument as to whether or not they would get in line to do that, or whether they should pursue it, I think is really the better way to say it. And so Simon Sinek then just sort of walked up, cut the line, took a bagel, and walked away. But he tells a story that to make the point that some people see what's possible, and some people focus on the difficulties en route to getting there. And sometimes it's in the creative thinking that you apply towards that path that actually makes it a lot less daunting. And so I really liked that story, and would like that to hopefully speak to me at times when I need to be more bagel and less line. So, but that was
more bagel. Yeah.
That was just a nice little reminder for me to stay locked in on the possible, and like Corey's saying, let the collaboration and support of other people be what helps us to not be so overwhelmed with the route too.
Andrew, I've been listening to a lot of Simon Says this week. I've been doing that. So not quite the same message that Simon Sinek has, but Simon Says. So
well, I played Simon Says Wednesday night with my first grade basketball team that I'm coaching, because we were working on dribbling and stopping, and also them to listen to me, because I feel like it's herding cats out there.
If you ever sat in when there's a master Simon Says person running it, they can actually be really tough, really tricky.
What? There's professional Simon Says?
I know. Well, some of them are just so good, or maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe I just fall for them.
You're easily fooled.
Like they're good.
Dang it.
That would be incredible if there's this tournament and people are stretching and warming up, and Simon Says.
Next Olympics, they're having a Simon Says Olympics. Isn't that one of the added games, or was that something else? I could be wrong. Well, they are doing break dancing.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I did see
they
that.
just will do Simon Says also. So.
Yeah, I saw that. That is so cool.
I can't. That would be amazing.
Yeah. I don't know how you judge it, but it would be cool.
We have just to honor the comments in the chat. We have a Facebook user who said, "I'm reading How to Be an Anti-Racist for a book study. I've humbly learned that I have a lot to learn about this topic." I think it's healthy though. That type of reading and conversation has become pretty, just much more prevalent, I think is what I'll say. Yeah, so really grateful to hear that. And thanks for sharing to everyone who shared in the comments. Thanks to Samantha Pavelka, Corey Dahl, Duran Davey for joining us here on the Friday Love and Learn. I always just leave this. This is, a chance to smile. And so it's something I always cherish every week. So thanks for joining us. And we just wish everybody a tremendous weekend and a great next week. And we'll see you next Friday.
Thanks.
Yeah.